I'm Jay Taylor. I'm the editor of Jay Taylor's Gold, Energy, and Tech Stocks, and I'm here at the Metals Investor Forum in downtown Vancouver. It's January 19th, 2018. I'm here with Ivan Bebek. He is the executive chairman of Auryn Resources, and it's a company that I've been following. I own shares in the company. It's been a recommendation in my newsletter almost from its inception because I've known Ivan with his past successes, and it always sort of makes sense to follow people who are successful, and so I've picked up on Auryn Resources when it went public, essentially. Thank you for joining me today, Ivan.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's really good to talk to you again. I should mention you trade in New York and in Toronto.
That's
AUG
correct.
is the symbol.
That's correct.
About $1.92 the last I looked at your share price. $150 million market cap, something like that?
Canadian, yes.
Canadian, yeah. So you've really focused, you brought a great team of geologists with you. Mm-hmm. You and your partner Sean Wallace have been very successful in the past. You bring all the ingredients together, I think, that has made that success. It is the financing, the structuring, the technical talent, which is rare for junior mining companies to have so much talent under one roof, I think. Mm-hmm. And that's why I like your story so much. But you have several really large, you're looking at large projects too. You're not looking at, tiny things that aren't going to hardly pay the G&A, but you're looking for big things. You can build huge deposits and have major companies get interested in them. And now you have several of them, and what I like now is you're going to give us news through the winter because you have some in Peru and you have some in Canada, of course, that you've had for your first projects. Talk to us about maybe a couple of your favorite ones, the ones you think, the ones that you're really focusing on most. I know you like them all, but we don't have time to talk about them all.
Sure.
Give us your best ones right now.
So quick snapshot, and you've picked on something that really matters, and that's size. Yeah. And there's a saying, it's well understood by certain industry professionals that way before my time that you'd rather drill and miss on a big target than drill and hit on a small target, right? Because we all know you make all your money on major discoveries. Goldcorp bought into us last year. They bought 12.5% at about a $35 million investment because of the big look of our portfolio. To narrow it down to my favorite one, it's like picking your favorite child, which you can't really do. I'd argue about 6 months ago or a year ago that Committee Bay, because I knew the most about it, was the big show for me. It was awesome, and it's gotten better for us, which is really good, and we're about to go back and drill something very meaningful. But we finally started to make some headway in Peru and get a drill turning there, as you pointed out, and we're having some great success in our first program. But there's something called Sombrero, and Sombrero is about 200 kilometers west of a mine known as Las Bambas, which was bought for about $6 billion in 2014 when we sold Caden. Yeah. And what was the shock here was it was further west. It was discovered through an erosional window. A gentleman named Miguel Cardozo. He's credited with the discovery of Yanacocha as a gold deposit versus silver. He found this thing, right place, right time, erosional window, and there's a lot of multi-gram gold. There's a lot of multi% copper. There's about 5 clusters of outcropping mineralization and some major structural components around it. We've quadrupled the land position now in the last few months, and now it's getting the scope and scale of what Committee Bay could be. So I'd say that, I'd argue with myself a lot of what is going to be bigger for us, Peru or Committee Bay. Now, there's a lot of risk to go make a big discovery, and we've seen some of that last year. We drilled a lot of holes, and we didn't hit a lot of huge discovery holes, but we've certainly made a big step forward to that first major discovery. All you need is one. All you need is one big discovery, and then it's game on for us. But the 4 big projects that stand out are Sombrero, Baños del Indio, Gibson's McCoy, and Committee Bay. And then the drill hole we drilled the other day, it's in a project called Huillacoyo, which is 150,000 ounces, non-43 101 historic gold at the top of a hill. So geometry's perfect. It's 15 kilometers away from a mine that's producing half-gram gold at $313 all-in cash cost per ounce, that's $1,000 profit per ounce. And so we drilled underneath that little bit of gold, and we hit a nice 180, 200 meter wide zone of hydrothermal breccias, majority of it being hydrothermal oxides and breccias. which in massive silica, which is really what we're seeing in the gold above a surface. It doesn't ensure that it's going to run gold. These epithermal systems have different pulses, and does the pulse have gold in it or not? So there's some risk, but it was drilled down to 400 meters, 300 meters true depth, and it's just going in the lab in about a week from now, so we're pretty excited.
Well, it's really nice as an investor to know that you have so many kicks at the can. It's not like one and done. It's like if you hit, but they're all large targets, and they're targets that were picked by some really exceptional geologists, very, very well known, highly regarded geologists, veterans that have worked for major companies, right?
Yeah, so we've hired Newmont's former global exploration team, and including their former chief global exploration chief geologist. When you work with a bunch of geologists that have worked in the majors for their careers, they've got a needle that they need to move, and that's the needle that worked at a major, and that's why everything's so big. That's why we're taking the big shot. We think the gold market's going to improve dramatically in the next couple of years, and it's a good time to take risk and miss on a few, but eventually hit the big one, and that's what we're really about.
All right, so just in summary then, sort of a time scale of some of your results, things that value drivers that people should be watching.
So we're finishing hole 4 and 5 in Peru that we just started right now in January. In February, we should have access to Sombrero, my favorite project, and we will be resuming drilling in Committee Bay at the end of March, going into April. Results from Peru should start as early as the last week of February, going into March, and they should be pretty steady because we'll follow up with drilling in Committee Bay, and it's going to be project after project, and we're going to miss on a few, and that's exploration, but when we hit, it's going to be proper. We're going to do really well with it.
Well, you've done really well in the past, you and your partner, Sean Wallace, and I expect it will continue, at least with one of these, and possibly more than one. So
we think more than one could happen, but just let's get started with one big one, and we'll go from there.
Amen to that. Well, thank you very much. It's really great talking to you again.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All the best.
My pleasure. Thank you.